Hey there, I'm Katsumi, and this is a deep dive into the 2026 yearly reflections and predictions for all 12 zodiac signs. So, I'll be delivering in order of astrological calendar order. So, that's from Aries to Pisces. So, check the timestamps below, and I'll see you there. Okay, so Aries, let's get into what's happening in January all the way to December and see what the vibes are looking like for you throughout the year. Ooh, okay. So starting off, you have the Eight of Wands, okay? So something about a lot of momentum coming in for you, something to do with you just kind of going with the flow, okay? You're traversing, I heard traversing at quite like significant speeds, okay? And something tells me that it's important for you to think within, utilize your intuition with this high priestess. Okay, something to do with there's going to be secrets in the mist, okay? Secrets about what's happening around you, secrets related to what you didn't know is now being revealed, and something to do with just like events transpiring in your favor, is what I'm hearing. Okay. You also have the Empress, so it's something to do with you needing to nurture yourself, nurture your abundance, nurture your mindset. Okay. Get creative. I'm hearing that you might be an artist, you might be doing some creative work going forward. You might be thinking about how you are going to be manifesting into your future. Okay. Oh, I'm going to take this. Alrighty. And it also seems to be that there's going to be some sort of union, partnership, and some sort of like alignment to your choices going forward. So those are going to be like the main themes for you to look out for in the year ahead. Okay. Let's just jump into a little bit of the other messages you have here. But yeah, I'm definitely getting good vibes. It seems as though there's just a need for you to utilize your intuitive powers. Okay. And so that you don't miss opportunities, okay? There's going to be something along the lines of you being fearful towards like future endeavors, future things that you might want to do going forward. The universe is asking you to take the leap is what I'm hearing. Something to do with you missing an opportunity due to fear. So I suppose it's like give yourself like a pat on the back for like a job well done. Give yourself like almost like be your own cheerleader, be your own coach, be your own compassionate, almost like white knight is what I heard as well. Something to do with you needing to almost like have stability and knowing that you have everything going forward in your favor is what I heard. Something to do with things are aligning in terms of like or like balancing out in some way. Okay. Because you're bold, you have that leadership quality about you, you have that charm, you have that vision to go forth. I'm getting like King of Wands with that as well. So yeah, the universe is just like, hey, take the time, build that momentum, go forth. Don't be afraid to do something that, might, shake things up a little bit is what I'm hearing. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of new influences, and that makes a lot of sense with the lovers here as well. Okay. So kind of be intuitive about the almost like the dreams and aspirations that are going forward or that you're trying to accomplish. Something to do with like you being very sensitive to like these alignments as well. So like kind of tap into that. Kind of like almost like surrender to it, but also like tap into it. So it's like having like a shift in perspective would help as well. And it looks to be that some of you might even be going into some sort of mentorship or mentoring someone towards like a craft or mastery of a craft. I'm getting Eight of Pentacles for some reason in the back of my mind there. And it has a lot to do with like the tradition of the craft, the tradition and order of the craft, is that might be of significance for some of you. Okay. And there's going to be a need for you to protect yourself. There's going to be like some yin yang situation going on, some like dual polarity things. Like you might be having new feelings towards certain things, okay, related to your guidance, related to receiving help of some kind. Also, it seems to be like there's going to be like some sort of cause and effect that might be creeping up. Okay, so with that, it's like I'm hearing that you're getting thoughts not only in the your day to day, your like also like in your dreamlike state for some reason. Something to do with like you. tapping into like your third eye, you tapping into your dreams, your aspirations in these sort of like different realms and frequencies. I'm just getting like dreams. Like maybe your aspirations are like dreamy, they're like romanticized. So like you're kind of pursuing it in like your waking day and in your sleep is what I'm hearing. So you kind of have like that dual nature about you, that yin and that yang, to kind of fulfill yourself in that regard. I'm also kind of hearing that this is going to help you get into some sort of like planning ahead, but not only that, but like it's going to help you self evaluate. So it's like, it's almost like you're getting answers in your dreams so that you can aspire and like innovate in your day to day, like in your waking life, is what I'm hearing. But I also hear that there's going to be some like a little bit of bondage to that too. So be mindful. Something to do with like you kind of like having some sort of like realization in your dreams of some kind for some reason throughout like I'm getting like mid-year, like May, June, July vibes for some reason. Okay, so be mindful of that. And it looks to be like sometime around that too. There's going to be some red flags, okay, in the mid-year, perhaps. Something to do with red flags might be popping up, something to do with you getting closure after like some sort of relationship situation. It feels very much like you're going to receive some sort of foresight that allows you to grow, allows you to expand forward, okay? After some sort of collapse in a partnership, after a collapse in some sort of like I'm getting like some sort of hidden encounter, whether it be like a sneaky link kind of relationship vibe, a private meeting, some sort of like discreet situation. I'm hearing that with these hidden motives, you're going to be very strategic about how you step away, how you run away, how you transition, okay? Because these are things that are going to kind of like creep up and like you know, it kind of creates like this discord in some way, but it is like a hollow victory of some kind where you are going to have closure after some sort of like betrayal, is what I'm hearing. So it has something to do with a partnership for some reason. Okay. And you're going to end this chapter. So it kind of feels like this is something you perhaps started in 2025 that you're closing off in 2026, which is really good news. You're going to have a sense of like contentment, but there's also going to be like people coming back in your midst that are going to have fake smiles. They're going to still show up with like fake kindness. So kind of just be on your lookout, be observant and sharp minded as you traverse forward. Something to do with like there's gonna be friends and family perhaps, or maybe even like coworkers with like hidden resentment towards you as you find your peace because you're finally free and ready to let go and do your own thing. So I suppose universe just wants you to know, like, as you are like doing your own thing, okay, as you are traversing through your life and finding good fortune and like unlocking and like and blocking off all of these like hindrances, all of these like barriers, it's like you can release, but at the same time, you can kind of like set those boundaries that you've been kind of like needing to do so that you can expand. Is what I'm hearing too. A lot of interesting back and forth energies there. Okay. It almost feels like the mind is muddy a bit, but you're gonna be cutting off certain people. You're gonna be cutting off certain frequencies that are not serving you subconsciously and consciously is at the same time. And there might be some avoidance in that too. It might be some sense of just like, as you're like avoiding certain things, okay, it might be put people in some sort of disbelief, but at the same time, you'll be able to just kind of like continue on your own path, is what I'm hearing. Like that's what I'm getting at. And it's almost like you're finding freedom, you're able to take those leaps forward, okay? But at the same time, you have like this wishful thinking as you like rest, as you have recovery, okay? I'm also hearing that you're getting some sort of support in some sort of group or family environment, friendship environment as well. Some people are going to be gathering, some people are going to be traversing forward to help you find stability, is what I'm hearing too. But nonetheless, when you are burning out through like, some of this hardship, take the time to like, sleep it off and kind of like recover your energy, is what I'm hearing. Okay. Kind of disconnect really. Disconnect, kind of leave the chat kind of vibes, kind of just find yourself again. What I'm getting. And also Something to do with just like not allowing yourself to jump into compulsive decisions or like things in general as you go into 2026. Um, it also feels like if you kind of like go towards like your compulsive desires in 2026, you might find yourself in like bad decisions all over again. So be mindful of that as well. I'm almost like getting 2026 is really encouraging you to balance yourself, find adaptability, juggle your options, is what I'm hearing, so that you can kind of plant the seeds of prosperity going forward. It feels as though you have like a lot of sparks, a lot of ambitious energy coming through. Okay. You're feeling and seeming like very inspired, but it's like at the same time, I was also getting like a lot of muddiness in the energies. So kind of like take some time to rest before 2026 so you can like recuperate and like rejuvenate your chakras, okay? So you can feel grounded again towards like the momentum that you're having with that 8 of Wands. So yeah, those are all the messages that I have for you. I'm gonna now hop over to Taurus. Thank you so much, Aries, and have a beautiful day. Came from Aries, and okay, Taurus. Let's see what's happening for you in 2026. What are some things you need to look up for? What's happening? What's going on? And yeah, starting off. Ooh, okay, 5 of Pentacles, 6 of Swords. So it looks to be that like you're kind of getting out of the cold, okay? You're kind of going into 2025 to 2026. In this kind of like you're feeling a little isolated, you're probably feeling a little excluded from certain things, but you're moving away from that with the 6 of Swords energy, which is so beautiful to see. You're recovering, you're transitioning and healing your energy, okay? So it's almost like you're moving forward even though things were hard in the past, you might have had some heartbreak. I got hardships as well for some reason. Something to do with like, ooh, yeah, you're just leaping forward. Something to do with you just kind of like going through these hardships, these emotional pains, and you're just like recovering from that, okay? It feels as though you are just like now in this energy of being hopeful. You're being like full of like freedom and trust towards the path forward, it feels like. And like the 6 of Cups, it's like you're like in this like nostalgic energy. Okay, you're flowing. You're like, I was getting like you're bobbing and weaving. You're having a really good time. Ooh, okay, we're getting some more energies here. But yeah, you're just kind of like in this energy of just like, ooh, feeling like kind and innocent and just like nostalgia about your life traversing forward. I feel that like many of you are going to be finding love in the new year as well, even though like the lovers is not necessarily like love related, it could be just unions, choices, alignment, partnership. But I do feel like you're loving yourself again. You're finding alignment in relationships. You're perhaps having really solid connections with people. We're getting six of cups, so it almost feels like you're gonna have like nostalgia in like these new relationships that you're going into. It almost feels like fantasy like, which is really nice. Okay. And you have this like strength about you with the emperor, okay? You're going to be very structured in these new relationships. You're going to have some sort of stability and you're going to have authority over your life as well. Something to do with like a lot of structure and it feels like very much like grounded in like certain things that like you're really attached to with this devil energy. So it feels like you have like a little bit of like bondage to certain things, but at the same time, it's giving you structure as well, which is interesting. But perhaps you're also just like structuring yourself away from certain bondages, away from certain attachments that might be kind of like casting a veil over you. Okay. And so I'm also thinking, like, in hearing that there's going to be like some sort of ending and transformation from that. Okay. So there might be like depths to certain things, okay? Yeah, you're gonna be like disconnecting from certain energies, all right? Things that were kind of just putting you in this existential dread, putting you in this environment where you just felt bonded, excluded from the energies, having to like reflect on them as well. Yeah. And like, yeah, things like mind fog, awareness collapse, like vanished while meditating. Like you're just kind of like in um this sense of solitude and self-reflection going into 2026, okay? And it has a lot to do with like you feeling a sense of drained vibes from 2025, okay? maybe you were antisocial, maybe you shut down from certain connections, okay? Which is kind of feeling and getting a sense of like why you might want to like rekindle certain relationships of the past or even walk into new ones is what I'm hearing with the lovers here. Okay. But it's like you're also utilizing your discernment. I'm getting like Queen of Swords in the back of my mind there. All right. And it perhaps has a lot to do with you moving on from certain connections and wanting to just, yeah, kind of move away from those red flags, so you're just being discerning. Like you might find that people attractive, you might feel certain things are working out for you, but it's just like, ooh, there's like warning signs that you're like, wee woo kind of thing. So you're just kind of like not trying to get into the drama of things, okay? So that's like what I'm hearing in the energies there. Yeah, you're kind of just keeping things open ended in 2026. You're just like, certain things are going to be unanswered from 2025, You might have some emotional hangover. So it's kind of like you're reminiscing about the past events. So that might be of significance as well. Something to do with like you kind of like stepping away from certain energies is what I'm hearing of the past. You might be ghosting people as well, or they might be doing that towards you, or maybe they come back out of the woodworks, is what I'm hearing. Something to do with like you being silent, perhaps as well, which has created some confusion in certain relationships. But you found closure because it's like you kept things open ended in 2025, and you might be doing that into 2026 as well with certain relationships. But it looks to be like you're finding something new, like a temporary relationship of some kind. It might be seasonal. I don't know why I'm getting like Valentine's Day vibes. Okay, all right, and it looks to be that it's gonna be kind of like short term, but it might. I'm kind of getting like it might like what is it like flourish into something new is what I'm hearing. Like that might be of significance to some of you. But you're also like hiding your like true emotions about certain things too, because you're kind of like afraid to show how you really feel as you step into new relationships. So it's like maybe you feel like no one really knows the real you, or perhaps it's like maybe you just want to take a step back and kind of like take time to, you know, understand who it is that you are as a person. But it's so interesting, like lovers. I was definitely getting like there's like a relationship popping up, but there's like no two of cups or like ace of cups or something like that. So I was like, oh, there's like it could be love, but like I was feeling that in the back energy. So you are going into like 2026 with like having maybe starting a new relationship, or you'll be getting into new relationships in 2026. So that might be of significance. So, like, you might have like some cupping season relationships. You might have some friend zone related relationships. They might be platonic. You might kind of just be stuck as friends. It might be like a situationship. Okay, so these are things that might pop up in in the year ahead. Okay, let's see what other energies we got here. And so, yeah, just like a lot of relationships, but it's like the universe just kind of wants you to move forward from like the hurt of the past, okay, with that six of swords energy we were saying in the beginning. Was it six of swords? I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. Just like recover from certain things, okay? And so, ooh, okay, yeah. So there's gonna be some sort of achievement, okay? And it'll be before or after some sort of downfall, okay? But you're going to be a champion nonetheless. So it almost feels like you're overcoming some sort of downfall. You're making momentum forward. Ooh, yeah, you're, ooh, okay. Something's going to be corrected. There's going to be some sort of inheritance coming in, all right? And it's going to kind of like push you to be almost like ruthless towards that, almost like wanting this thing so badly, like with conviction, is what I'm hearing. All right. So you're going to be like having a lot of like conviction towards something. It might be these new relationships, like maybe someone friend zoned you, but you wanted more. But this probably happens after some sort of like situationship of some kind, maybe is what it sounds like. Okay. And yeah, it's just something about perseverance and having faith that this new relationship's going to work out, that certain things are going to work out in your favor is like what's going to propel you forward. So it may not just be like relationship related, it could just be like partnerships, those unions, those choices that you make, okay? Whether those choices feel like situationships or not. The universe is almost asking you to like keep pushing, have like perseverance, almost like be resilient, okay? And be resilient in like your compassion, in your strength, in your like inner knowing that things are kind of just going to work out as you traverse forward. So yeah, those are all the messages that I have for you, Taurus. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'm now going to hop over to Gemini. Yeah. Hey there, Gemini. How's it going? So yeah, oh, I don't know why I before this reading I was like, oh, Cancerians. I'm like, maybe that might be significant. So kind of might be a little bit bridging of the both or two. But you're like, with actions happening for you, Gemini, you have like some sort of like this speedy momentum about you right now in this 2026 energy. You're like driving forward. You have a lot of control. You're very determined, but it's interesting because it's like this is like Cancerian energy, and I was thinking Cancers. So it's like interesting. I'm like, okay, so maybe you have like a friend that's a Cancer or like a Cancerian of some kind. Maybe like a late Cancerian, or maybe like you're kind of on the cusp of like Cancerian energy for some of you. Maybe that might be in one of your houses. Um, and yeah, I suppose like Two of Swords and the Ten of Swords, interesting energy, past the present into the future kind of vibe. Two of Swords, you're kind of just like having this sort of like you're not only starting off with like a realization and breakthrough into some sort of stalemate decision. So like you're in this like decisive state in the past, but you're like jumping into like this fast momentum in the future. So that's like really good. Like you're like in that stalemate, you're probably a little avoidant towards like certain actions and things going forward. But then you're just like, oh, you have like this 10 of swords where it's just like some sort of defeat happens, some sort of pain happens, and it's like, it's like maybe this like indecisiveness like led to some sort of like bad decision of some kind that you were moving towards. But nonetheless, it feels like it's like you're still moving forward nonetheless, okay? And yeah, you're moving forward with that Knight of Pentacles. It's almost like you had to take certain sacrifices to get like your come up is what I heard. It's like to get like your get back or like your sort of like something to do with like just getting into the nitty and gritty, like the routines, getting to your commitment towards something. It's like you are working hard towards something, and it's like even if things don't work out, you're not giving up. You're constantly propelling yourself forward because eventually, even though like you're in that like 2 to 10 source of energy is what I'm hearing. It's like I'm getting an energy of like you're still going to keep going forward with your swords energy into someone who is like decisive, someone who has clarity, discernment, authority in their actions is what I'm getting there. It has a lot to do with just like you being like really grounded in like this earth energy because like the Knight of Pentacles is like that earth energy, like you're really like stable, okay? And who it is like who it is you are as a person, in your physical being, okay? There's a little bit of illusions popping up as well. Subconsciously, there's like things unseen. There's a little bit of mystery and fear in certain situations that you're like having this stalemate energy towards. Okay. So be mindful of that as you like traverse in 2026. And it feels as though like you are almost like in this energy of like you have discernment, but you're not going to let things like get in the way of you accomplishing your goals, is what I'm hearing. It's like you're not going to let your fears or judgments of others get to you because you have a stability and structure around you. You're being like really, you're being really strategic. And I got like these energy justice and the high priestess. So like those are upright faces, but you also have like Ace of Cups, Seven of Swords, and Queen of Swords. So it's just like you are like in this defensive stance. You're protecting what it is that you're acquiring with that Seven of Wands, Queen of Swords. You're still coming across with just like you're elevating in that energy of the sword. So it's like it's nice to see that in the back of the deck energy is coming out just like that. And there's justice in that momentum that you have too. It's like it feels such a like all this goodness is coming in for you, new emotions, new feelings, loving relationships might be coming in as well. The start of a relationship might it sounds like it's coming in. Yeah, and you're also having like the high priestess show up. So it's like you've known this like all along, like these mysteries that almost felt like an illusion over you that were casted over you with the moon energy. It's just kind of like the veil is being lifted, is what I'm hearing with that high priestess. And you're just like stepping into like beautiful energy that just like accumulates and like culminates is what I'm hearing. All of this like all this goodness is what I'm hearing. Yeah, it's gonna be also like a wake up call for you, some sort of like spiritual wake up call of some kind, something to do with like you feeling like this sudden clarity, okay? This sudden like urgency, this sudden awareness coming in that you can't ignore. All right. Ooh. Yeah, there's also gonna be some sort of like relationships that popping up. Maybe this is kind of what put you in a stalemate for some time as well, a little bit in the early 2026 energy is what I'm getting with that. Um, but nonetheless, like even if people are not reciprocating feelings and you kind of feel like stuck like friends, sibling vibes, it feels like you're still gonna be on the cusp of a new relationship. So keep moving, keep traversing forward because there's long-term stability in that. Okay. Yeah, so just have that future planning about you as you traverse forward. Okay, there's going to be some signs that pop up. There's going to be some sort of things that you'll need to pay attention to as you traverse forward. It's like a message will be received, okay? So just kind of trust the process is what I'm hearing. Universe wants me to take this out as well. Trust the process, take time to recharge, okay? Has a lot to do with that retirement energy of just like, this relaxation of yours is like it's well earned. You're finally going to be able to live in your dreams and your aspirations, okay? And things are going to be falling into place. It's going to be like perfect timing for you, all right? So, yeah, just take a break, all right? Even after this relationship, like if things kind of go a little haywire for you, just like recharge, okay? Come back stronger than ever is what I'm hearing. Yeah, you're on this like spiritual high. Something to do with reality check enlightened for 4 hours. So it's like you're gonna have like some message come through. And so when this happens, like don't forget to like utilize this foresight to like expand forward, okay? Ignite some new sparks in you. Um, that's what I'm hearing. Just trust all the signs that you're giving. Something to do with like you finding fulfillment in 2026. You having a sense of like enthusiasm about certain things in 2026. Yeah, okay. But you're gonna be like suppressing certain things too, like almost like a facade. Maybe there's gonna be certain things that leave you numb. Maybe it's those relationships we were talking about. Okay. Certain red flags, things that you were fantasizing about, false hope. So yeah, just kind of like be on the lookout for like certain things that just seem too good to be true as you traverse forward. Something to do with like there's gonna be moments where you feel like energetically like uplifted, but just kind of like balance things out, like balance your emotions is what I'm hearing. Balance like how you're perceiving certain things. Because it's like, the reality versus like how we perceive things is like very important to think about. It's almost like don't get into like deceptive blocks is what I'm hearing. Okay. Yeah, don't get into deceptive blocks. Something to do with like a lot of numbness coming in. So like scrolling instead of healing. So the universe is kind of calling in and asking you to like heal yourself, heal your mind. Okay. Read those books. Kind of like check in. I'm getting like therapy for some reason. Some kind of just check in with loved ones, check in with people that you care about. Like kind of like stay seen is what I heard. Okay. Because it seems as though like you might be like dodging certain things, dodging like the fear of change, staying in your comfort zone. All right. So it's like take some time to like invest in yourself, see your self worth, kind of like almost like give back to yourself in some way. Even though you might be getting rejected here and there, you might be getting shamed, people might be putting you in like this suppressive state. Universe is asking you to not put yourself in that position as you go into 2026. Okay. What are the messages we have here? And yeah, there's going to be some explanations that are coming through as to like why people are treating you certain ways, why people are having perspective shifts and having to let go is what I'm hearing, especially with this friend zone energy that we got in the background. Something to do with like almost like you perhaps feeling like a puppet in certain situations, but with your determined I heard like I don't know why deterministic. I don't even know if that's like a, is that even a word? Like your determination with that chariot card that we got at the very beginning. Like your willpower is going to help you traverse forward. Okay, with that sentinel. So there's like certainty in the energies that you'll have like opportunities coming your way. You'll be having a sense of growth come your way, but it's really going to take healing. It's going to take you almost like sensing the frequencies, sensing the emotional messages that are coming through physically, spiritually, something to do with just kind of like finding alignment again. Maybe meditation might be of significance too through your healing process. But really, it's about having compassion towards yourself, empathy, and also utilizing your intuition as you go into 2026 and, you know, go throughout the rest of the year ahead. So, yeah, those are all the messages that I have for you, Gemini. Thank you so much. And now I'm going to hop over to Cancerians. Have a wonderful day. Hey there, Cancerians. Let's get started on your 2026 reflections here on prediction. So, Page of Pentacles, it's kind of like, ooh, so there's going to be some like sort of like big opportunities coming in for you. Something to do with like you studying something for a while. Okay. Seems to be like, huh, you've been studying something for a very long time. You've been like, seems like you've been really focused on just like your teachings, your learnings. Looks like you're kind of mastering your craft as well. Something to do with like you being grounded in your youth towards that too. So you might be an artist, a dancer, a singer, a songwriter, something like that. I'm getting like kind of like artistic, creative endeavors. Okay, something to do with you leveling up in a sense of like community. So much so that you're having fulfillment, you're having harmony come through. You're feeling good in 2026. Okay, and you have this like hangman energy, which is kind of just like you surrendering to certain things, having a shift in your perspective. You're letting go of things that are not serving you, and it's really doing you justice, Cancers. Something to do with, ooh, okay, so we have like upright 10 of wands, but we also have like knight of wands and the tower. So a little bit of hermit in the background too. So something to do with like there's going to be some sort of collapse and upheaval of certain things coming your way. All right. Feels as though like something's going to be in the midst where it's kind of going to like strain some sort of connections or situations. Might be due to responsibilities of some kind, but because you're like in this hangman energy, it kind of feels as though like you're kind of just like okay with what's happening going forward. Like you're kind of gonna just be like in this chillax state, okay? And with that hermit energy in the back of the deck, it kind of gives like you kind of knew this in your heart of hearts, and like your wisdom is kind of like guiding you forward, and so you're going to be like reflecting as you maneuver through a lot of these endeavors of yours. Okay, Nine of Wands. Interesting. Going from 10 to 9. So you're going to be like protecting some of like your endeavors, some of the things that you're acquiring as you move forward in 2026. It feels as though like there's going to be a little bit of grit related to some of these instances that you're going to have to like kind of like put up with certain things. You're going to be like protecting your energy, kind of like making sure and ensuring that you have like harmony and stability as you traverse forward. Okay. Um, Kind of feels like almost like you are kind of like flowing with whatever happens as well. And I'm also getting a little bit about, I don't know why I got the word dramatic for some reason. Um Temperance energy. It's funny. Yeah, you're just like gonna go through things like this dramatic situations with like flow. You're gonna be like integrating yourself. That's so interesting. I was like, I really feel like you were integrating yourself and temperance came out. That's interesting. Also Sagittarius energy with that. So you're gonna be flowing, you're kind of just be like living your life. I almost feel like living your best life, if anything. Ace of Wands, something to do with like a spark is happening. Got this like fiery energy about you. So you might just be like, as you're just like chilling and like going with the flow, it feels like something new is gonna be popping up in your midst. Something that's just gonna be like, oh snap, like this is big, you know? And it's kind of like related to like you just being intuitive and compassionate and empathetic with a lot of things. So much so where it's just like things are just kind of working out, you know? It has like a nice smooth harmony to everything, you know? It's kind of like what I'm getting. Ooh, wow. And then the Queen of Pentacles too. Queen of Pentacles kind of feels as though like the energies are just like telling you like, hey, your 2026 is going to be feeling very like rooted, very full of like abundance and like very nurturing is what I'm hearing. Like you're going to be booked, you're going to be busy, okay? You're going to be very productive. You're going to have like this schedule so booked up that it's like there's like no time to waste. You kind of have to be like a little discerning about certain things that you're going to be doing because it's like you're going to have so many meetings. So decisiveness will be required, Yeah, so like just kind of like keep out or keep a lookout of like all these red flags related to certain meetings. Like if you feel like someone like puts a meeting over another meeting, it might, come off a little vindictive or something, or might make you lose something or put you in some sort of like uh, you know, kind of conflict is what I'm hearing. So just be mindful of that. It's like use your intuition with that Queen of Cups. And so there's also going to be some past life connections popping up, something to do with unexplained familiarity with certain connections or events that almost feels like deja vu is what I'm getting. Okay, so you might have that, like you've known all along. Okay, and it might have to do with people popping up that you've ghosted in the past. Maybe they found like your new phone number, maybe they found your address where you moved, stuff like that. So it might bring a little bit of burdens here and there, a little strain. Maybe like Ten of Wands energy with that. Okay. And so, yeah, these people that you ghosted, they're going to be popping into your DMs. They're going to be having like, maybe it's a past lover, an ex lover of some kind, something to do with needing sensitivity in the situation, something to do with poker face. Like they might come back with like certain, like, you know, perspectives or like, certain things are going to be said. Maybe they're going to be like, "Oh, I felt this way," but really they mean another thing, and it's like they'll be kind of like impossible to read. Okay, so it's like you're just like in this unbothered state. It's almost like you are setting your boundaries, is what I'm hearing through the deception, through the potential mental blockages that a past relationship or connection might bring forth. It's like it's testing the waters. It's testing certain things out, but like there's like emotional detachment on both sides. So that's kind of like what I'm getting there. And also something to do with like there's going to be some sort of wake up call for this person and for you it seems. And so in terms of just like your spiritual awakeness, like you're going to be finding like a sense of like sudden clarity, having a sense of urgent awareness, can't ignore it anymore. So yeah, it just feels like you're going to be really tapped in intuitively. You're going to be like kind of focused on you going forward as well. Like you're going to have brand new ideas. You're going to have certain situations pop up for you where it's like you're going to be on hustle mode. It's going to require you to kind of like start new, reinvent yourself, and just utilize your intuition as you traverse forward. Okay. Something to do with like you're gonna be hustling a lot. So it seems to be like while you're really booked, you're gonna have like almost like a sense of like control and security around you. You're gonna be very determined, but there's also something around like sleep can wait. So you might get burnt out as you like are traversing through your endeavors, as you're pursuing your endeavors. Okay. You're gonna be going through a lot of discovery, a lot of just like, it almost feels like you're gonna be like going through a lot of cycles, okay? A lot of shifts in your life, in your career is what I'm hearing. Okay? And you're gonna be seizing the moment. And it's so funny because it's like in that whole situation, it's like I don't know what it is. I kind of got like, like it's no more reciprocity. You're just gonna be thinking about yourself in 2026, which is it's good energy. I feel like Cancerians are very giving, with a lot of like Six of Pentacles, like a lot of fairness and reciprocity. But like now you're giving back to yourself, okay? You're feeling resourceful, you're feeling rooted, and you're feeling like someone who can rely on themselves, which is really nice energy to see and hear. Also, something to do with you focusing on your legacy, focusing on your abundance going forward, and really just like honing in on the energies that are just like serving you as you jump into 2026 and almost like I heard as you depart from 2025 going into 2026. So yeah, those are generally all the messages that I have for you, Cancerians. I'm now gonna hop over to Leo. Thank you so much for your time and have a beautiful day. Hey there, Leo. Okay, let's check out what's happening in 2026. Oh wow. Okay, so Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, and the Emperor. Oh wow. Okay, so things are looking really good. Leo, holy snap. Okay, so Nine of Pentacles. So you're feeling satisfied in 2026. It's almost like you perhaps are walking into 2025, 2020, walking from 2025 into 2026 with good vibes. It's like you're feeling this sense of like openness. You're having like the seeds of like prosperity flourish for you in 2026. The things that you saw as a potential in 2025 are flourishing in 2026. There's a lot of opportunity coming in for you. Something to do with like, mm, just you having like a lot of structure around your life. You're very stable. People respect you. You're strategic. You have this authority. figure in your life, or maybe you are an authority figure um, towards like your plans and your endeavors. Something to do with like I'm getting career for some reason. Like you're really stable, okay? Um, and if it's not career related, it feels like you're gonna be jumping into some sort of like opportunity that's going to be like propelling you forward, okay? You are leaving behind certain things like overthinking, nightmares, anxiety, guilt, things like that. It feels as though it's like it's related to this Nine of Cups vibe where it's like your wishes. It's like you do have some anxiety towards your wishes. Sometimes you do overthink about them from time to time, especially your past dreams and aspirations, is what I'm hearing. But nonetheless, I feel as though like you're being really compassionate toward yourself. You're being balanced in your like emotional maturity, emotional stability is what I'm hearing. And you're stepping away from all of that energy with that Six of Swords, okay? It's almost like you're allowing yourself to just like transition from that overthinking mentality and move into 2026 with like this vibe of just like honing in on what it is that you're doing. Okay. Yeah. And it's like that justice is popping up for you. You're going to find justice and balance in what it is that you are trying to accomplish. It's like fate is changing in your favor, is what I'm getting there. Yeah. And you have the moon. Okay. So it's like there's going to be some sort of like intuitive dreaminess popping up here. It's almost like you're creating reality for yourself. And it's like almost like you're living in that illusion of the reality. It feels like things are unseen around you, but it's like you're manifesting the reality you wish to step into, is what I'm hearing. Oh, wow. And you have the hangman as well. So it's kind of like you're just like in this, you're just surrendering to what is. You're just surrendering to everything that is just like happening around you. You're letting go, you're shifting your perspective, and you're just like, in this mindset of just like, just chilling, mindset of just like, um, what is it called? Like laying the balance, like between the balance of things or something like that. It's almost like has this like a dramatic cinematic vibe to it for some reason. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna be in this like hopeless romantic vibe. You're gonna be feeling like you're in a fairy tale, but you're also gonna be setting your boundaries as you traverse forward. Something to do with like you're waiting for something to happen. Okay. You've been dreaming about it for a long time. And the universe is telling you like you've made your investments, okay? You've set your boundaries, you've been protecting your peace, okay? All right. And you're just like not letting certain things like persuade you or get on your bad like I heard like it's not gonna be like what is it? Like it's like I heard good graces for some reason. But at the same time it's like things are not going to put you in this like hollow victory state or like this like I don't know, conflicting state of mind is what I'm hearing. Okay. Yeah, because like there have been things where it's like there might be situations where people might be breadcrumbing you a little bit here and there, giving you minimal attention, keeping options open. So that might be due to relationships of some kind. But it's like there's also feels like you're just setting boundaries in that regard. And so that's kind of like why people might be breadcrumbing as well, or trying to not like give you every piece of the pie is what I'm hearing. But in divine timing, things are going to work out for you, okay? It's just a lot of patience is required. There's going to be certain events and certain situations where it's kind of like, yeah, this is like working out for right now, but like it may not necessarily be for you. Something else is waiting for you, is what I'm hearing. Okay. Yeah, there's going to be like some sort of crossroads situation, something to do with like you're going to be given more opportunities, but like you can take whichever route you want. You can go back if you want. That's kind of like what I'm getting. It's like, right now you're on this road that might be breadcrumbing you, but in divine timing, something's going to open up and it's going to be meant to be for you. It's just like, it's going to take time. You just got to trust the process in 2026, okay? And so this situation is going to be life changing. These situations is what I'm hearing. It's going to be like more than one choice is going to be given to you. Something to do with you having to choose wisely. And it's going to require you to overcome some of the conflict of the past or the thoughts of the past, but you've been doing such a good job in that regard anyway, with the moon energy, with the hangman energy, kind of just like living in these like, your subconsciousness, living in your intuitiveness, living in that, that hangman energy of just like letting go. And so just speak your truth, okay? That's what the universe wants you to do. Okay. And as you speak your truth going forward, you're going to have a big break. It's almost like some of you might be given a new career opportunity. And it's like, hey, we're going to give you XYZ salary. And you're like, no, I want this. And they're like, okay, we can offer you this or get closer to that. It's kind of like that, where it's like you're setting your boundaries, you're not letting people breadcrumb you, is what I'm hearing. And if they are, you might choose the other option because you have the ability to do so, is what I'm hearing. Okay. Something to do with like you just having like these life changing moments that are really going to like bring about your confidence, bring about a sense of communication towards like how you interact with people. I'm hearing that people are going to really see you in this like confident, warm leadership mentality. You have like this sense of boldness coming through, the sense of integrity and charm about you. It has a lot to do with like your patience towards your future investments from 2025 going into 2026, okay? And you're just like very wise, okay? You're built on tradition, you're built on just the order of things, the stability, and that makes sense. You had the emperor at the very beginning where you're messing up the cards. But that's like against the structure. So like maybe that has something to do with something where it's just like you're just like okay with breaking the structure of certain things, which might be why you're like so put together with like the order of things. Like you'll break things apart if you've got to in 2026 is what I'm hearing. And you'll let it go. Yeah. Okay. And so it's because you have like this perseverance about you, your this faith. You got a lot of eyes opening up, like maybe your third eye chakra might be opening up as well. Something to do with just like the illusions are now being seen is what I'm seeing in this energy here. Okay. It almost feels like complete energy. Like you've arrived, like you finally have fulfillment. Okay. And yeah, you're gonna be like ruthless in the way you go about certain things. It has a lot to do with like your attachment to your dreams and aspirations. To do with like your temptation towards how you feel about your fortune or your good luck. Okay, or about the cycles. It feels like a lot of like I don't know what it is. It's like very like not ruthless, but it feels like very like has a lot of momentum and drive like in the back end there, okay? And yeah, some sort of news is going to be delivered to you, something to do with collaboration in 2026. Okay, got a lot of energy coming through. So you might be kind of like leveraging like your intuitive insights, your spiritual insights. So it feels like you're going to get some sort of messaging, okay? Kind of it's going to be very stimulating, okay? It's going to happen maybe in like crowded events or kind of feels like you're going to be attending certain events or you're going to be going through certain I don't know why I heard like charity events or like galas or balls or something like that. Like you're going to some sort of parties. What I'm saying, it's what it sounds like. You're going to be very overstimulated in like a public environment. Feels as though like you might meet someone there that you might be communicating with. Okay, yeah, something to do with like you might meet an old friend or an old lover, like an ex-lover of some kind. Something to do with like, I don't know, like mental blockages might be creeping up, like obsession towards them might creep up. So you might kind of go past memory, like go through memory lane again, is what I'm hearing there. Okay. But it has something to do with like them rejecting you, them kind of like splitting off. I'm getting like long distance relationship for some reason. And so it might kind of put you in this perpetual cycle of like feeling shameful a little bit here and there. The universe just wants you to be mindful of that in the back end as you're pursuing your dreams, okay? And something that hmm, universe wants me to keep definitely. But yeah, something to do with like the like even though you're like all these wonderful things are happening in your life, fulfillment's happening, kind of just be mindful of like the shadow work that needs to be done in 2026 as well. Okay, you knew you ignored it. So it's like utilize your intuition, don't ignore it because it might lead to some sense of like self betrayal in some regard of like past events that happened in 2025. So just be mindful of that as you traverse forward. So yeah, those are all the messages that I have for you, Leo. Thank you so much. And I'm now going to hop over to Virgo. Have a good day. Hey there, Virgo. Let's start with your 2026 review and let's see what's happening in the year ahead. So, yeah, Six of Cups. Okay, so you're going to be feeling nostalgia. That's really good. That's a wonderful start. Ooh, okay. So nostalgia, you're feeling compassionate and intuitive and like the artistic, creative endeavors you've got. Wow. Okay, so you're definitely crafting this year ahead, Virgo. Something to do with you've been like working really hard towards a particular craft you've been trying to master, a skill you've been focusing on. Okay, so in the past, you're just like in this energy of nostalgia towards that. Okay, and it feels so like you have a lot of like dreams and aspirations towards what you're creating, towards what you're trying to master. And it looks to be that you're going to be able to create partnerships and unify them very soon. Um, as you're like kind of like completing some sort of course, some sort of like, I'm hearing some of you are completing like a degree, education. Maybe you're getting a level up in your career. You're kind of just like walking and traversing into some sort of victory with that Six of Wands. Something to do with like you getting recognition for your ability to like your mastery, your craft, okay? Oh, okay. Wow, I haven't seen 4 wands in a hot minute. And yeah, it's like you're kind of like having stability, harmony in your foundation. Wow, strong energy coming through, Virgo. And so yeah, King of Cups, it's like really good. You're like passionate, okay? You're dreamy, charming, you're romanticizing, you're like doing all sorts of things in this like balanced, calm energy. Okay. And it's also fiery too. Okay. It's feeling very much like you are a visionary. You are someone who is like very attentive to your dreams and aspirations. You have this passionate drive about you. It's very intense. It's like you have not given up at all, Virgo. It's like you are thinking about everything that you've been working towards. Okay. You've been thinking about memories. I'm hearing like you've had like childhood dreams from the past that you've been very focused on. Okay. Something to do with like you having given up hope. You've been just working towards these dreams of yours. And now you are celebrating those dreams. You are finding stability. Okay. And you're going to be like almost like finding a sense of bliss in that as well. Yeah. Spirit wants me to end here with that particular deck. But yeah, like this is feeling like really good energy of just like you being really creative in 2026. Okay, something to do with being mindful of like people breadcrumbing you as well, or even breadcrumbing your own dreams and aspirations. Something to do with like, um, I'm kind of getting where it's like, don't let yourself like, what's the word? Don't think little of what it is that you've acquired throughout 2025 and 2026. Things might come towards you as if it's like you're being breadcrumbed, but it's kind of like everything's going to be adding up over time, is what I'm hearing. So don't give up hope. It's almost like there's going to be something that kind of like puts you in this like standstill moment for like a period of time. That's going to kind of make you feel like you need to self evaluate. But don't be too bothered by it. The universe wants you to kind of like have this unbothered mentality. Okay. Have this calm mentality when something like that comes your way, when you get faced with some sort of like hardship towards like your endeavors, because like you have this passionate pursuit, and so it's like keep at it, keep going with that energy, so that you kind of like stay stable, or you stabilize like the frequencies, you maintain how it is that you're feeling. Things are going to have a like a boomerang effect. You will have like your like the things kind of returning to you. Okay, the karmic cycle is going to be like coming full circle. Feels like someone might do something kind of like mischievous in the background, but what goes around comes around kind of thing. So you'll kind of like the accounts will be settled, the debts will be settled, um, is what I'm hearing. Yeah, things are gonna bounce back. It's crazy. Yeah, things are gonna be coming full circle for you. So just like have resilience after all your setbacks, okay? You're gonna be able to recover quickly because you're already very decisive. You already have this like drive and intense, passionate pursuits towards what it is that you're doing in life. Okay, you're very creative. You have this sheer like willpower towards you, this action. I'm feeling like very like harmonious energy. Don't feel discouraged when something comes your way, okay? There's going to be some sort of lies that pop up, altered truths. People are going to have some sort of ritual deceptions. I'm getting AI with that for some reason. I don't know why. Seeing is no longer believing people might be gaslighting, okay? So just kind of like be mindful of like the realities that are being distorted, okay? The truths that are going to be quote unquote said, quote unquote truths, emotional manipulation. So just be mindful. Their truth versus your truth, there's only one reality. So at the end of the day, what happens happened, and you have to keep like pushing forward is what I'm hearing. Okay. So let's move on to the other deck here. Something to do with, yeah, just like accept help. Okay. Seek guidance when you need to. Something to do with just kind of like focusing in on like your intuition and knowing like, hey, if you need something, call on your spirit guides, call on, your faith, call on what it is that you kind of like, almost like leverage is what I'm hearing. Like if you're leveraging the frequencies, if you're utilizing the guidance of your spirit guides, things like that. So you can find clarity. Something to do with like sleeping it off so they kind of like understand the hidden motives that are happening. Like when you sleep on a particular idea, it kind of like gives you like the cause and effect. It kind of gives you that level of discernment, that level of clarity that you might be needing. Something to do with the mind being foggy at certain points in time. Okay, so kind of just like traverse forward that. And yeah, utilize that determination, utilize that certainty and knowing of like, hey, things are going to be a little hectic as you pursue your dreams, this fiery energy of yours, okay? But like keep pushing forward. I'm getting chariot energy from that too. Normally when I see this, I think chariot for some reason. I have no idea. This is like my chariot card in this deck. And so it's like, yeah, you just like keep pushing with that drive, that control, that action, that determination that you have, okay? And have vulnerability, okay, towards like people who are willing to help you in this endeavor, willing to kind of like get you over this like this hill is what I'm getting. Some of you might be writers, you might be writing books, you might want to write out how it is that you're feeling to kind of like loosen up the illusions, loosen up some of the craziness that might be happening around you. Something to do with like feeling chained to a certain promise, feeling chained to like, I don't know why, I got like employer, feeling chained to like some sort of agreement or a contract of some kind. So that might be in the miss as well. So yeah, it's kind of just asking you in the universe to kind of just like balance like your, like how you're thinking about things like invention and destruction, like that cause and effect vibe, kind of question everything as you kind of traverse into 2026 because it feels as though there's going to be like certain like authority figures that are kind of like, it's like, I don't know, it's like you kind of have to utilize your authority and like your rationality behind certain things, your logic behind certain things to kind of like bring about more stability, is what I'm getting there. So that might be of significance as well. It's like you'll need to alchemize the energies that are kind of coming up against you, is what I'm hearing. And I feel like you're going to be winning people over by doing so as well. Yeah, but your social battery is gonna be drained. You're gonna have like all these choices in your partnerships as well. But a lot it's gonna be a lot coming in for you. It's like a lot of overstimulation. You're gonna be feeling panicked, perhaps mental overload of some kind. We're getting like beep 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 and blah 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 in the background. Um, you might want to just shut down and have like antisocial moments because everything's just coming in hot. But it's like, use your action, use your drive, use your personal intensity towards your creativity to kind of like push you over to the next step, is what I'm hearing. It almost feels like it's kind of like getting energy where it's just like you might feel like you are super passionate in your creative endeavors where you don't have energy to like communicate with people, talk to people, but kind of like transmute that energy of like your love for your craft as you talk to people as well, like almost like romanticize those communication the communication that you have with people, the dialogue that you have with people the same way you do with like your creative endeavors. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah. Kinda convince yourself it's fine, basically what I'm getting, yeah. Um, getting at, like, it's like you're gonna have to convince yourself that everything's working out perfectly fine, that, everything's good. It's like putting yourself in denial, okay? Having, like, this emotional suppression towards, like, crazy instances that occur. It's gonna be a lot. If you're gonna be, like, chilling, hopefully trying to chill, and kind of being over expressive, maybe feeling a little shameful, a little odd at points and times, but this is like your shadow self. So just like be mindful, okay? And kind of like think about, things that you almost like can gravitate to when you're like in those moments, okay? Maybe you might feel sentimental towards certain like items, so you can bring that with you during those certain like moments in time, perhaps. And yeah, something to do with emotional projection and lunar excuses. So yeah, it might be time to like, kind of hone in into your like spirituality with like certain like I guess like solar and moon cycles and things like that. That might be of importance. Like, like the moon phases, maybe you want to do something on a full moon or a half moon or a crescent moon and things like that. Maybe that might be of significance rather than just like, leaving it out to just the moon is out there, but maybe it's just like maybe you're not doing like spiritual, cleanses and things like that during like certain cycles of the moon or things, So maybe these are things to think about in your shadow self, like as you protect your energy and like move on into 2026. But yeah, it looks to be you're doing quite well. Just kind of balance out the destructive and chaos that's happening in the background that you might endure as you kind of pursue your dreams and aspirations. It looks very positive. It's just like the communication and the connections might just like kind of put you in like a frenzy a bit that like might make you feel like overwhelmed. Just be mindful of that as you like work towards your shadow work. Yeah, those are all the messages that I have for you today. Thank you so much, Virgo. I'm now going to hop over to Libra. So I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey there, Libra. Okay, let's see what's happening for you in 2026. Okay, so starting off, oh, wow, we've been getting a lot of Six of Cups energies recently. So yeah, you're starting off pretty well with that nostalgia, okay, from the 2025 going into 2026. Ace of Cups. Ooh, okay, so a lot of openness and love coming in for you as well. Might be starting a new relationship. Okay, the Ace of Cups is a lot of goodness. Okay, having some sort of like emotional birth of some kind. New feelings are creeping up into 2026. It might have to do with these new relationships. It might have to do with your nostalgia towards something. You might have like nostalgia in a loving relationship, or perhaps you might even just be feeling like, pretty good in terms of just like your overall like vibes. Okay. Universe also wants you to be mindful of like as you jump into these new relationships and have nostalgia, just be mindful of like certain like overthinking it as well, overthinking like or having anxiety towards like these new connections. I suppose like when you start a new loving relationship, like there might be some fear in the background, okay? And it might be a little deceptive. It might create mental blockages for you. So just be mindful, okay? And so as you kind of like traverse through that energy, Six of Cups, Ace of Cups, King of Cups, okay? You're gonna be in this like really balanced state in this relationship. Something to do with like having almost like it's like it's gonna be feeling like really good, really balanced. It feels like you two are gonna be very collaborative towards one another. It might even just be like a partnership of some kind or a new friendship. It feels very strong. And with this like Nine of Wands energy, it's like it's feeling like it's got a lot of grit to it, like it's got a lot of strength, a lot of protective energy. Like you two or the group at large is just feeling like really put together is what I'm hearing. It's like there's willpower in keeping the connection strong is what I'm hearing there. Okay. Something to do with justice in the back end too. Something to do with the relationship is feeling very fair, very balanced. Justice itself is also Libra energy, and it's great to see that in a Libra reading. Yeah, something to just do with like you being accountable, your partners are being accountable, the group of people that you're working with are being accountable. Friends and family are being accountable, is what I'm hearing. Okay, so it's like you're just keeping accountable. You're in your energy. You have that justice. Okay, so it's like you being able to like be very discerning, very fair about certain things. It has a lot to do with like your just like structuredness as well. Okay, we're also getting Queen of Wands. Something to do with like, it's almost like feeling like you're so confident in this structure and this balance that you have that it's like creating warmth in your relationships. Okay, you're being an authority figure in your relationships. You're leading the charge, is what I'm hearing, or maybe you're leading into some sort of like balanced relationship. Okay, so you're kind of like creating balance in the relationship, is what I'm hearing. Okay, something to do with like having like creative spirit in that regard as well, in terms of ensuring that the relationship is balanced. And it's because you're utilizing your judgment as well, something to do with you just like bringing clarity to certain situations. You're evaluating yourself, you're evaluating the situation, you're evaluating the purpose of what's happening now towards later. It's like you're evaluating the phases and evolution of the relationship, which is why it's so balanced, which is why it's so accountable. Something to do with like the Six of Swords energy as well. Also, Hermit wanted to kind of like come out with that too. So it's almost like you're in your solitude, you're being wise, you're kind of like having this fairness about you. And you're kind of just like moving in a direction of just love and healing and recovery, okay? From things that are just not serving you in like relationship issue kind of stuff is what I'm getting. And it's kind of like you're kind of like holding tight towards like the security and balance of things. So that's really nice to see. Like you're really just like honing in on the stability of your relationships, which is nice. Okay, so let's see what else is coming through for you in 2026. Ooh, okay. So yeah, you're just recharging as well. You're having like mental rest, but at the same time, through this mental rest, you're also having emotional recovery. Okay. I don't know why, but it feels as though like you're being like very compassionate towards yourself. Okay. And you're like using your empathy as well. Okay. You're being like very balanced in like your physical realm, spiritual realm is what I'm hearing. Something to do with you wanting to come back stronger, you wanting to take breaks and kind of like come into 2026 with like a sense of rejuvenation is what I'm hearing. Okay, because when you're going to make important choices in 2026, you want it to be uh, chosen wisely. Okay, you want it to be something that like matters. So when you take that step forward, you're really going to be thinking about how to maintain the structure, how to maintain the strategy that you put in place. Okay, how to maintain that accountability that you put on yourself in 2025 going into 2026. Okay, something to do with you not wanting to settle with just like anything, okay? Wanting to settle with certain situations. Like you don't want to settle with just any relationship. You don't want to settle with just like anything that's complicated. You don't want to fear of loss of freedom or things like that. It kind of feels like you're going to be very wise about the decisions that you make in 2026 so that you stay accountable. It's like you're constantly going to be keeping yourself accountable throughout 2026, which is interesting. Okay. But you're also going to be letting things go. Like you're like allowing yourself to like emotionally heal. And that makes sense with that Knight of Swords energy that we got earlier. Okay. There's going to be some overthinking. You're going to be letting go of overthinking mentality. You're going to be letting go of anxiety. You're going to be letting go of guilt that you've been feeling about the endeavors that you've been going towards, okay? You're going to be releasing grudges in these relationships, in these new relationships that you're coming into. It seems like you might also just be like having like interesting, like maybe your love life might be very much like kindling like a lot of different like connections with people. So you might just be like having some sort of like cuffing season kind of vibe where it's like you might be like dating a couple of people throughout the year if you're not in a relationship yet. And you're kind of just like testing the waters, finding a companion that really kind of like balances you out is what I'm hearing too, and kind of gives you like the results that you're looking for in like your future endeavors is what I'm hearing. And you're coming at it with like this sort of like CEO mentality, like you're taking control of your love life, you're taking control of like how things are being planned out, you're taking control of like your business, your relationships, everything around you. Okay, it feels very much so that you're just like very focused on achieving your goals, improving your life, your social standing. Okay. Just like kind of like elevating yourself, going to the next level. All right. Let's see what's happening in your shadow work, what you need to work on as well. Okay. And so as you're like pursuing your dreams, there's gonna be something related to like emotional investment towards certain things and feeling rejected. Okay. So things are gonna be very complicated, like even in, like your situationships, your temporary relationships, like you might want to go back into them even. Okay. But the universe is asking you to recharge, take time to like breathe and just relax. Okay. Um, because like these situationships might make you feel like you're getting ghosted, that you're like, that you're gonna feel like you're not being cared for or you're given the proper attention is what I'm hearing. Like there might be some sense of suppression of like emotions and like having like a facade or like almost like not wanting to come off as like hurt is what I'm hearing. So just kind of like protect your emotions is what I'm hearing too. And yeah, you're going to be feeling overwhelmed at certain times. You're going to be feeling like you want to shut down. Your motivation might be at zero, even. So, yeah, just kind of like think about the things that really matter to you going into 2026, okay? Kind of find that balance, kind of find that integration, that harmony, okay? Kind of flow into it. It kind of feels like in the shadow work, just be really mindful of your emotions, maintain your balance, okay, that Justice Libra energy, and just kind of like have compassion towards yourself, but at the same time, like keep that energy of like letting go, release those grudges, okay, have sense of like almost like allow yourself to have tower moments, allow yourself to not be able to see the unseen. Allow yourself to have these awakening moments. Allow yourself to go through these rebirths and just like self evaluate from time to time so you can kind of like decompress and kind of come at things like with a fresh start is what I'm getting into, like, the next leap forward. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much, Libra, for your time today. This is all the messages that I have for you for 2026, and I'll catch you next time. I'm now going on to Scorpio. Have a good one. Hi. Hey there, Scorpio. Let's hop into your 2026 predictions. Okay, so yeah, getting interesting energy, but you are focused on your craft right now. You're very dedicated. Okay, in 2025 going into 2026. I'm also hearing that it's like something to do with like I kind of got like vibes of just like, mm, focused is what I got. Something to do with like you're focused towards your craft, but it's at the same time like bringing some sort of like deception a little bit here and there, a little bit of nightmares. You might be feeling like you're uncertain towards like if your path is going to like open up for you, is what it sounds like. It feels like, huh, very much like you're working towards things in an abundant, stable way. Like you're trying to build your legacy, you're trying to build your wealth, you're trying to build up your home, but at the same time, there's like nightmares in the background. But it's like you're focused. That's what I got. Like you're very focused. I'm also hearing that it's like there's a little bit of fog in that as well. Something to do with like arriving at a point in time. Um and that might have to do with like just that fear, that anxiety, okay? The universe is like almost asking you to just like keep that fire in you, okay? You have this like passion with you with that Knight of Wands there. Something to do with like you are like driving through the fire. Like things might be like hectic. Everything might be fine kind of thing. Like, like that meme where the dog's like sitting on the chair at the table and the fire is just happening in the background. That's kind of like what I'm getting. Um, Something to do with like you just like in that energy, okay? You're having this passion, you're having this drive, this intensity, okay? But like, I do feel like there's like a little bit of fog, and it's okay if that's there. You have strength. You do have a sense of community around you. You do have a sense of fulfillment around you. Okay, I do feel like you're going to be celebrating your accomplishments, even though things are like fiery. Okay, people might be drinking out of the fire hose kind of vibe. They might be, things might be acting array like crazy and things like that. But I do feel like things are very balanced for you. Okay, despite all of the craziness in the background, you're moving really fast too. You're having like this sense of action towards like your pursuits and passion. Okay, you're very committed. It feels as though like you know where you're going. Okay, you know where you're going next, and you're not stopping. Is what I'm hearing. You're not stopping for anyone or anything. There's some Eight of Swords energy where it's like there might be some deceptive, uh, you know, actions that are happening towards you, or like people might be giving you some sort of like, I don't know why, fear mongering for some reason. Okay. Might be creating some mental blockages or attempt to create mental blockages, but you have strength showing up. So it kind of feels like you're coming at things with like this calm, restraint, inner strength kind of vibe. Like you're full on like ready to go with your energy. Okay. It feels like almost like you're transforming things around you. You're transmuting the energies. So you'll be fine. I'm also getting like Knight of Pentacles. With that energy is kind of just like you're very committed already. You're very diligent. You're already routine. So it's like people can't really put you through these mental blockages that much. Okay. They want to try to get an emotional reaction out of you. They want to try to creep up and have unresolved wounds, but like you're coming forth and like you might have to face these past hurts, but the universe is showcasing that you're going to be able to have that forward momentum through it. So just like stay strong, okay? Stay committed in your routine and don't let these things distract you, is what I'm getting. So it's like some shadow work might be needed there, okay? And kind of just heal your inner child, heal those wounds of the past, okay? So that you can return, reconnect with your joy, have your playfulness restored. Something like that is going on in the background in 2026, okay? It's kind of going to like put you in this, like, I don't know why. There's gonna be some ego battles. There's gonna be some ego deaths happening in the midst. Okay. Um, and yeah, it has a lot to do with that past life energy there. Okay, something to do with just needing to heal and recover, retreat from certain like mindsets. Yeah, because like there's like plastic smiles around you, might be related to toxic love or toxic love connections. Okay. Something to do with like you versus you. Also might be some gaslighting happening too. So just be mindful of that in 2026. Something to do with like people kind of creeping up from the past, triggering you, trying to be kind, trying to force friendliness, but there's like resentment there still. So just be mindful of like what's happening in the background. It might be, related to those ex relationships that might have been toxic. I don't know why. I was getting like toxic work environment for some reason. But nonetheless, it's like something to do with just focusing on you versus you going forward in 2026 so that you can maintain your enthusiasm, maintain your curiosity towards your new paths, is what I'm getting. Okay. Hmm. I'm also getting that, yeah, as you're competing with yourself, okay, it's kind of like going to, I don't know what it is. It's like, it feels as though like you want to create your own reality of some kind, okay? Have self worth. Be patient towards yourself, be compassionate towards yourself. Okay. Kind of like get through these addictive patterns of the past. Okay. So it's like you really are gonna have to battle off a lot of your past wounds, is what I'm hearing. Okay. It has a lot to do with awareness, a reflection towards the past environments, the past situations. Okay. It's like you're gonna need to recognize it so you can put it to rest, is what I'm hearing. Okay. Yeah, it's like something to do with chains, something to do with loyalty, okay? Feels like you were in some sort of contract and some sort of relationship. I don't know why. I was getting some sort of like divorce or some sort of like thing like that, like unseen situations happening. Um, you know, certain things were there was like hesitation there, perhaps even. Um, so just be mindful of that as you traverse in 2026. Yeah, something to do with deception and trickery. Okay, there's gonna be some people who are just gonna come across with smiles and not be so really smiley internally, I suppose. So use your discernment. Yeah, it's like a bit of a warning. It looks like you're doing well, but like people are gonna try to creep up and like ruin your parade, is what I'm hearing. Okay, they're gonna try to mind fog you a bit. I don't know why I kept getting fog. Something to do with like feeling muddiness. Even in the beginning of the reading, I heard the word fog for some reason. I don't know why. Something to do with like you just needing to have awareness because like if you stay in this fog, then your awareness will be collapsed. Okay, so just be mindful of that as you go into 2026. Okay, have resilience and protect your energy. You might want to do a cleansing of some kind, perhaps as well. Okay, you might feel overstimulated towards certain situations. Um, yeah, I feel as though like, yeah, it's like have control and so you can drive yourself forward is what I'm hearing. Okay. Like you need to almost like be mindful that you're in control. All right. Yeah. You don't want to go into some isolation phase, break down and have like vulnerable moments. Like this is all your shadow self here. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like something to do with like putting things off. Okay. So it's like you're going to have the Knight of Pentacles come through in your energy. You're going to have drive, you're going to have passion. Things are going to be like really fiery starting off in 2026, but you don't want to shut down like mid-year, later in the year to a point where it's like you're having a breakdown, okay? So it's like maintain your passion, okay? There's going to be people who are going to come in and try to test you. So or try to like make you fearful of certain things or actions towards your future. And also, it's like you don't want to rekindle connections that don't have your best interest, is what I'm hearing. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm getting there. So it's like be kind of like sensitive to like your energies, is what I'm getting. Yeah, watch out for those red flags. Watch out for the warning signs, is what I'm getting there. Okay. The cards are all over the place. And just like don't get too hooked on addictions. Don't get too hooked on misprocessing things or having like like a certain perspective. I don't know why I heard twisted perspective. Okay, be mindful of that. Okay, be mindful of like temptation, desires. Okay, Okay? Kind of utilize like your intuition. Open up your third eye, okay? It has something to do with digital interference. So you might receive text messages, calls that might interfere with your passion, your passionate pursuits going forward. Okay, so you kind of just want to put an end to that, so you can like have renewed energy going into 2026. And as you're in 2026, kind of like leap through with that energy of just like detaching. Okay, detaching the bonds, the this like detaching from the drama and things like that is what I'm getting. So yeah, those are all the messages that I have for you, Scorpio. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm now gonna hop over to you, Sagittarius. Have a good one. Bye. Hey there, Sagittarius. Let's see what's happening for you in 2026. Okay, so starting off, you have the Ten of Swords. Okay. Hmm. So there's something happening in 2025 as you go into 2026 that kind of makes you feel like you're in this like sense of surrender state. Okay, you feeling like it's like an irreversible end. You kind of might be feeling defeated in some regard. Okay, might have been some conflict that happened in 2025 that kind of like puts you on a bad foot going into 2026. But like nonetheless, like you're kind of like opening up to new things. You kind of like getting ready, in 2026 early on. Seems to be like, this Three of Pentacles is like you're now focusing on your craft, you're growing, you're collaborating, you're building. It's like you're not focusing too much on the past regrets, is what I'm hearing. The past incidences, the conflict that might have happened. But there was like a lot of swords in your back in 2025 for some reason. Um, my heart goes out to you. It looks to be like you have overcome a lot of things in 2025 and you made it to 2026 is what I'm hearing. Okay, yeah, a lot of endings. Okay, I was definitely getting that energy, death energy here. Like a lot of releases, a lot of transformations. Things are looking up for you, okay? You have this like, you have Scorpio energy popping up for you. So there is like a renewal of some kind. You are like rebirthing, okay? It's interesting to see Three of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles here. It's kind of like you're balancing things out now. You're having like these options opening up to you. You're juggling options. And wow, you have the Queen of Pentacles. It's like you're finally going to be able to have a sense of stability coming in for you. Okay. You're going to be feeling nurtured in your environment. You're going to be feeling like you can be rooted as well. Um, why? I feel like you're going to be proud of something that you've been working towards, is what I'm hearing. And that's really nice to see. Something to do with like you having to just like I feel like you took a step back. Maybe you took an actual seat. It's like you actually sat down and was like, hey, it is what it is. And it's like you almost like I don't know what the phrase is, like, like bygones, something. I don't know. I can't quite hear it. Let bygones be bygones, something like that. I don't know. It sounds like that. Um, it kind of is just like you're letting things go. You're just like, okay, this happened. I'm moving forward. That's what it sounds like. Okay. Now you're moving towards like new paths with this Page of Wands energy. Okay. You're curious. You're enthusiastic about new things. Okay. And it's like you're creating, you're balanced out. Okay. And this really good energy. It's like you're not letting 2025 ruin your 2026 is what I'm hearing. Four of Wands. Wow. Page of Wands, Four of Wands, Empress. It feels as though like wow, it's like you're very enthusiastic. So much so that it's like bringing you harmony in like your foundation. Okay. It's like you rekindled your spark in some regard. Maybe you're like celebrating something within your home. Maybe you're celebrating a foundation that you've created for yourself early on in 2026, leading into like late 2026 is what I'm getting. Yes, I'm getting like mid like June, July vibes for some reason. Okay. The Empress, it kind of feels like your your creations are being nurtured. You might be starting a family. You might have an embodiment of like parenthood around you. You might just be feeling like you can nurture the things around you. You can nurture your home. You can nurture your life. You can celebrate your home, is what I'm hearing. And you're just having this like very like solidified foundation in like your home environment. And I'm also feeling like I don't know why. I feel like a block in the throat a little bit, like almost like you don't want to say something or it's gonna ruin it, like ruin all the goodness that's happening for you is kind of like what I'm getting. Yeah, it kind of feels like you don't want things to get out of hand, is what I'm hearing. So you're just kind of like resting in that. Okay. You're kind of just like in your solitude, you're chilling out. But there's like a little conflict in your thought, maybe in your voice too, in terms of like what's going to happen for you in the future of the rest of the 2026 as like you're nearing the end of the 2026. Like we're getting towards like the end of it, but it's like you're looking really good. Okay. And it also feels like you are just like in clear mind, consciousness, mind. Is a conscious mind, body, and soul kind of thing. Like you're feeling pretty clear. Okay. Ooh. Okay. And so yeah, you're gonna also be jumping into some sort of connection, something like new with like love, maybe new with partnership. Okay. You're gonna be able to just like, just kind of like tap into your heart chakra, that's what I'm getting there. Something to do with you also moving towards like these new connections, having control over these new connections, feeling really determined in that. Yeah, it's looking to be really good towards the end of the year too. It's like even towards like 2026, you're gonna be like maneuvering like very with a very like strong drive, okay, with that chariot energy. It's like you're not giving up. And the same way you're going into 2026 from 2025, the same way you're gonna go into 2026 to 2027 is what it feels like. Okay. I don't know why. You just have to be very balanced. Oh yeah, I was getting something about like speaking for some reason, like with the throat. Something about you expressing your needs, but like you don't want to fully express them. It's like you're defending yourself, but at the same time, like you're trying to find courage, but only like maybe only when your voice matters or when you feel like it matters. I don't know why. I was getting something related to the throat for some reason. It's kind of interesting to see that messaging. But nonetheless, when you're like speaking up for yourself, when you're kind of like expressing what it is that you want, need, and desire, it's like kind of like you're just nurturing yourself. You're gonna see that glow up. It's nice to see that with the Empress, and then you're glowing up. You're having this self improvement. You're finding yourself. Oh, I dropped the card. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, you had like Cloud Chaser. So it's like you're glowing up. I suppose it's kind of gonna. So that sounds so funny. You're going to kind of get into some sort of like a lot of attention seeking environments where people are gonna like be wanting your attention. People might be wanting fame around you, towards you, is what I'm hearing. Something to do with, oh, wow, we got catfish. So be mindful of catfishes. It seems like people want to be in your social circle, okay? So just be mindful with that Two of Cups. Like you are opening up to new relationships, okay? It might be related to love, it might be related to partnerships and unions. You might be having new feelings towards certain people, just new relationships in general are going to be popping up. So just be mindful of like who it is that you traverse with is what I'm getting there, okay, and the shadow energies of it. Also I'm getting a sense that it's like you are going to like have loving relationships, but at the same time, if you're like using dating apps, for instance, there's gonna be some people who might be a little bit of a catfish, okay? There might be people pretending to be someone else. They might have fake profiles. They might pretend that they're a certain height, but they're not, or they have a deceptive image and they turn out to be somebody completely different. They don't even look at like themselves anymore. It's like it's important to like be mindful like these digital romances. And especially when you find a match and you want to go on a date. So just be mindful about that. Some people are going to be putting on poker faces. They're going to be trying to, pretend like, they're one way or another, but really it's just like they're trying to like hide their true feelings, hide their true motives. And it very well might be due to that like clout chasing mentality. So just be mindful. Something about utilizing your knowledge, okay? Because certain things are like not trustworthy. So like it's like distrust is involved. Okay. So just like utilize your intuition in that regard. Something to do with these like individuals creeping up, just kind of like watch your back in terms of just like how you are traversing forward. Okay. Kind of utilize your intuition, utilize your knowledge, discover like who they really are as a person. Okay, there's gonna be some small regrets in some of these relationships. You might have really had a strong connection with some of these individuals that you connected with. There might be a longing after realizing that some of the temptation that you had is like, was it an illusion of some kind? To be mindful. And yeah, something to do with it, just like take command of what it is that you're doing, okay? Have self worth. Kind of like work together with someone or something to kind of like find relationships that work for you, to find relationships that inspire you, but are also showcasing a sense of gratitude, which is like kind of balancing things out for you. Okay, Sagittarius? So, yeah, those are all the messages that I have for you today for 2026. I'll see you next time. I'm now going to hop over to Capricorn. Yeah. Hey there, Capricorn. Let's find out what's happening for you in 2026. Okay, so woo, starting off. Ooh, okay. 4 of Pentacles. Okay, so you're very stable going 2026, having a sense of control and like your mindset is what I'm hearing. It's like you want to have control in 2026 overall. Like that's like the overarching theme, it feels like. And ooh, I haven't seen 5 of Wands in a hot minute. Okay, 5 of Wands. So you're gonna be overcoming certain things, okay, going into 2025 and 2026. There's been some sense of like struggle. So maybe with this like 4 of Pentacles, you're kind of just holding tight to what is that you have going into 2026. Maybe you face some sort of like almost like things that kind of felt like it was risking your stability, your security. So you were holding tight to that very firmly with your resources and your material gain. Um, it feels very much so that like you're just gonna be kind of overcoming some of those battles that you were facing, okay, in 2025. It's kind of like you're ebbing and flowing with it now. You're kind of just going through the energies, I don't know why I got chakras for some reason, like, you're going through all of them kind of spiritually, and it's like you're taking action towards your future, alright? You're 7 of Swords, like, you're picking up certain things, and you're kind of, like, leaving, you're just kind of running away, you're kind of just, like, being very strategic about things. Um, I suppose it's almost like you don't want to show your cards for 2026. Maybe you're trying to hide what it is that you have planned for 2026. Maybe you want to do something, you have dreams and aspirations that you're not telling friends, family, or loved ones, is what I'm hearing. It's like there's a conflict of thought, maybe, conflict of interest, maybe. Maybe like you're in a job, you don't like it, you might move on to a new job in 2026. Maybe you have plans to do something new where it's like, oh, I'm just going to pick up and go. Maybe you might want to travel. And so, like, you don't want people to know your full cards at hand, but you're still like being like really receptive towards the people you love. Okay. It feels as though it's like you have this like 6 of Pentacles energy where it's like you're still giving, okay? You're still being fair, you're still having reciprocity, so it's like a nice giving, taking, it's like a nice exchange happening. But it's like you're holding tight to what it is that you have, and I'm feeling like you're holding tight to your dreams and aspirations in that regard too. It's like you're not giving everything away. Ooh, okay, we got 2. Knight of Pentacles, 8 of Cups. So it's like this Knight of Pentacles is just kind of like you coming across as like this like very responsible, you're committed, you're very diligent. It's like you know what it is that you're trying to do going forward. You know what you want. You've already passed the 7 of Cups, so it's like you've had all these choices already available to you. It's like you've already made a choice and you're searching for that. Okay, you're on a departure towards like the option that you've chosen for yourself in 2025 going to 2026. It's kind of like you planned out a New Year's resolution and you're ready to take your next step forward. So you're kind of like letting go of everything else and you're withdrawing from the things that are not serving you so that you can maneuver forward. Okay. You can have this drive forward. And you're gonna be really routined about that in 2026. Okay. Ooh, the Hierophant. Okay. So it's kind of like you're like really what is it called? Like you're grounded in your beliefs, you're grounded in your spirituality, you're allowing your spirituality to guide you forward. And you're doing this with a lot of I heard gusto for some reason. I have no idea why. You're grounded in the sense of tradition, you're grounded in your teachings, okay? And you have this like beautiful recognition and reward coming in. I suppose like I feel as though you're gonna be rewarding yourself. You're gonna be feeling rewarded by others. Others are gonna be recognizing you. You're gonna be feeling the sense of victoriousness around you. And it's like you're traversing towards like the end of your year with like grace. So like the mid year, you're still like kind of getting your ropes together, like you're kind of getting your coins together, your pentacles together. You're at the Knight of Pentacles mid year, like early to mid year. You've already made your choices. And so like now that you're like taking steps forward towards like the end of the year, it's kind of like you are now just like being like really balanced about it. Like you're taking accountability, you're like sitting in your truth with that Libra energy, justice energy there. And it's really just all about your Eight of Pentacles, okay? It's all about you just having that dedication, you having that mastery, that focus that you've put into place since the very beginning of the year. So it's like you're already in like really good rooted energy. Oh, wow. Queen of Swords and the Fool. So it's like, yeah, you're feeling good. You're doing really well towards the end of 2026. It's kind of like with this Queen of Swords energy, you're just like being honest with yourself, you've been having discernment throughout the entire year that has brought you this clarity with this Queen of Swords energy, and then you're jumping into new endeavors into 2026, 27. Isn't that crazy? That's like such good energy. So yeah, it's like you've had this mindset of just like holding tight to your security, holding on to what it is that you've acquired. And it's like now towards like the end of the year, you're gonna even be having like even more potential opportunities open up for you. New paths are coming through, and you've just been trusting the process throughout the entire year, which is so nice to see. Let's see what other energies are popping up. So there's going to be some sort of like friend zone relationships too popping up. So that probably might be significant as to like why we saw like five of wands. So you might be struggling with certain friends, family, the people who kind of like put you in the back burners. What I'm hearing might be some sneaky links involved, okay? So just be mindful of that, okay? It's just like certain situations where you feel stuck in the environment, okay? But nonetheless, you're still gonna be feeling a sense of like overnight success. You will be having like things where it's like you gotta trust the signs. Might be a little bit gaslighting in the background, so just be mindful of that, okay? And it looks to be that there's gonna be like a rapid rise for you in these in your I guess I don't know why I heard the word love life for some reason. I wanted to say life, but I heard love life. Something to do with just like there will be a breakthrough in your love life if you're looking for a new relationship. Okay. There's gonna be all eyes on you as you're like acquiring success, as you're maneuvering towards that. It feels as though it's because of your self worth. It's because of your independence. It's because of the reward and recognition that's coming in for you. Okay, with that Six of Wands energy. Um, and so it's like, yeah, you can like, ooh, step forward knowing that there's going to be like a nice big break coming up for you. I'm also hearing, I don't know why, something to do with like upward energy. There's like something propelling forward of just like, there's going to be like a career turning point where it's like might propel you forward. So you might get some sort of promotion or raise, a bonus is what I'm hearing. I got something just like upward momentum. Okay. So it's like the trajectory is up, is what I heard. It's gonna be life changing, okay? And something to do with departure. Some sort of departure might happen, okay? Maybe there's gonna be some sort of I don't know why. I got the word like what is it like when a company acquires another company? I don't know. That might be of significance for someone. Okay, might be some sort of like hidden admirer company that comes in and sweeps in and like acquires the entire company that you're in, and you also get elevated with that with like a new promotion, a new raise, or some sort of department change. That's kind of like what I'm getting. Maybe it's a big break for you. Maybe you get a letter from a secret admirer or a company that's been looking at your work for a long time. Maybe you might get a letter in I don't know why I got email. I got letter in the post office or something like that, like some sort of package. You might get some sort of like anonymous note due to like some sort of someone's interest or trying to gauge whether or not you're interested in the opportunity. Someone's been watching you. Okay. Something to do with like surprise meetings are going to be popping up. It's going to be very unexpected. It's like the connection is going to be instantaneous. So this might be love, relationship, it might be work, career kind of thing. So kind of look forward to that towards like throughout the rest of the year as well. It feels very much like it's leading up to be pretty well. That very well might be the new opportunity that might happen end of 2027 as well. So look out for that. There's gonna be some big break that happens somewhere around like mid to end of next year. So yeah, that's like pretty much all the messages that I have for you, Capricorn. Wishing you a wonderful day, and I'm now gonna hop over to Aquarius. So I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey there, Aquarius. Let's see what's happening for you in 2026. Oh, okay. So King of Wands. You're starting off really strong with a vision, okay? You have a lot of charm about you. You're very bold about the vision that you have in place. And it's like really passionate, very fiery. Okay. You also have the 9 of Wands. Okay, so you're still feeling that vibe later on the year, like January, February vibes. Something to do with like you protecting your dreams and aspirations, protecting your vision, okay? But it's kind of like putting you in a sense of fatigue for a little bit. You might be feeling like you need to be resilient towards that as well. But nonetheless, you stay fiery. It's like something sets you back a little bit, okay? It fatigues you a bit, but then all of a sudden you're just like, "Hey, I'm now going to keep it moving," is what I'm hearing. It's like you're gonna like rekindle your passion again. That's what I got. I'm gonna do with like now you have like this like source of truth. What is it like this North Star is what I heard. I'm gonna do with like you rekindling your passion and it kind of like reignites the fire in you again. All right. Yeah. And it's because you're like manifesting with the magician. Okay. You're being very creative. You're being very focused. You're being very inspired with your actions. You're able to manifest. Okay. You're giving, you're taking, you're having a good sense of reciprocity with the 6 of Cups. It's like, I was getting 6 of Pentacles for some reason. I don't know why. So, like, I don't know why. It's like you're giving, but at the same time, it's like you're giving with like your sense of nostalgia. So it's like, wow, it's interesting that I saw 6 of Pentacles in that. It's interesting. So yeah, King of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles, maybe in the back energy of that 6 of Cups. Somewhere in like that March energy. Yeah, March, April. And then it's kind of like mid-year, you're kind of in that King of Pentacles where it's like you're just like, wow, you're just like I don't know what to even say, but it's like you're stable, okay? You're reliable. You have like this sense of like leadership about you that feels like you're really secure in like your material and your resourcefulness is what I'm hearing. I suppose I'm getting a sense that people are like able to rely on you, like you're really reliable, is what I heard. Okay. And it's like new paths are opening up for you because people see you as a reliable individual. So it feels as though like you're kind of, I don't know why I'm like, huh. It kind of feels like, I don't know what it is, but it feels like really, like I'm anticipating something. Like something's about to pop off, is what I heard. Like you're about to leap towards something new, something that you've been hoping for a long time, and it's gonna give you the freedom that you've been hoping for, okay? Page of Pentacles, so it's like something some sort of seed of prosperity that you've been planting, during that time frame is going to kind of, like, be able to be planted. So you've been just holding on to this, like, seed for a long time, and it's finally going to kind of be able to be planted, and blossom into something, potentially into the thing that you've been wanting to accrue, is what I heard. Okay. But during that time frame, as you're like waiting for your this thing to blossom, waiting for this thing to manifest, it feels as though it's like you're going to be holding tight to what it is that you've acquired thus far, something to do with like, oh, okay. So yeah, you're gonna be holding tight to the things that you've acquired thus far, but at the same time, it's like you're gonna be envisioning what's gonna happen, like what's the potential once this thing blossoms, what are you gonna do next? What's your plans going forward with that 2 of Wands energy? So you're being very creative in that. But then with the like the temperance as well, it's kind of like interesting, Sagittarius energy. But it's like you're also coming across where it's like being balanced about how you're making those plans, how you're thinking about the potential of things, but also like you're alchemizing certain energies and harmonizing with them. So it's like you don't want to overstep in like how you're envisioning something. And so you're being mindful as like you near that end of 2026, okay? And so as you get to the end there, you have the King of Swords. So it's like you're already going to be in this like very authoritative like position, okay? You're gonna be very logical, very rational about the plans that you put in place. It feels as though like whatever you sowed mid-year 2026, you're gonna be able to accrue something from that. You're gonna be holding tight to it. but at the same time, you're still like making more choices. You're still planning ahead and you're being very logical about it. So it's like you're kind of just like making sure that you're like, it's like you have all your ducks in a row, is what I heard. So into the 2027, basically. Interesting. And so, yeah, there's also going to be some sort of like invitation that you might receive. Okay. There might be some sort of, I'm kind of getting like, I don't know why. I got some sort of like invitation to some sort of events of some kind. Um, yeah, I don't know what it is. Some sort of event. You might be getting love bombed. Yeah, like something. It's like you're getting an invitation to some sort of event that's going to be opening up some sort of new opportunities for you. It's going to be opening up some sort of like new beginning. I got something about opening up a sense of independence for you if you don't feel quite independent yet. Something to do with feeling rewarded to something. There's going to be a lot of intense affection coming in. Like you're going to be feeling a sense of recognition going into some sort of event. It's going to be very excessive. It's going to be at divine timing. So it might happen exactly when you are planting the seed of prosperity, right in between, like when you're manifesting something and you're holding tight. It feels like it might be happening towards like end of 2027 or so, based on like the energies of the cards, but like monthly. And so it's just going to be requiring a little bit of patience as you try to like as the like event tries to transpire is what I'm hearing. Something to do with just like trust the process, trust divine timing. Something to do with these new adventures. Like people are going to be able to watch you shine. Situationships might pop up, so be mindful of that in the back end. Some like there's like shadow energy popping up, so just be mindful of people. Trying to create situationships with you, trying to just love bomb you because of the brand new goodness coming into your life, things like that. So just be mindful of that. Something to do with like people feeling stuck as friends with you potentially as well because you're just very focused on your endeavors. So that might be a significance. So you might personally only want situationships because you're taking control over your life. You're kind of nurturing your leadership capabilities, and that makes sense with the King of Swords here as well. Like you're just in your logic, you're in your truth and rationality. So you're just kind of utilizing like your intellectual power to like kind of like I suppose like recover from like these some of these setbacks that some of the relationships might transpire into because no one can really keep you down kind of mindset. So you're just being very resilient. You're just being very open and honest about about your situation so that you can keep rising and going upward. Okay. Let's see what other messages are coming through. But yeah, nonetheless, there's just going to be some goodness coming your way. Yeah, achievement. Okay, there's going to be some setbacks for sure. You have achievement and downfall. So as you're making achievements, there might be some downfalls happening in the background with your relationships. Okay, so kind of like balance is what I'm hearing is going to be required for you. Okay, to keep in mind to kind of harmonize and integrate harmoniously. It's like you're gonna have to like alchemize the energies around you. Okay, just have awareness, reflect. That makes sense, Gonna have to alchemize. And it's like opening up your third eye is gonna be important at this time too. Utilizing tradition, order, cause and effect might be of importance too, but kind of like stick to your roots is what I'm hearing. Kind of stick to I don't know why. It's like I heard the word stick to your gun kind of. So that might be of significance. Um and also it's like yeah, just be productive, be creative, stay in that creative energy, okay? I heard stay away from deceit, stay away from hidden motives. Okay, there's going to be people that come in that try to have like mental blockages come your way. Yeah, there's going to be stubbornness and inflexibility. So it might put you in that perpetual trap. So be mindful. Okay, let's see what else we have here. And yeah, just as you be mindful of these potential setbacks around you, maintain your ambition, stay diligent through the setbacks, okay? As you traverse forward, okay? So those are all the messages that I have for you today, Aquarius. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you next time. I'm gonna hop over to Pisces now. See ya. Hey there, Pisces. Let's see what's happening for you in 2026. Okay, so starting off, okay, so it looks to be that you're going to 2026 kind of like in the hermit mode. You might be kind of like reflecting on certain situations of the past and from 2025. It feels as though like you're going to be just like in your solitude. You might be like to yourself really early on in the new year, okay? it kind of feels like you're just kind of I don't know what it is. It's almost like you're looking for clarity, you're looking for renewed faith, renewed hope. You're kind of like rethinking about your dreams and aspirations, okay, is what it sounds like. Nine of Wands. Okay, so it's kind of like you're walking into some sort of like situation that you're trying to protect. Okay, you're having resilience in that regard. It feels as though like you're putting a lot of grit to certain things because you're trying to keep hold of your security. You're trying to hold tight of what it is that you've acquired. You're just really trying to protect things right now in the new year. But towards like, March, May vibes, okay, you're going to jump into this King of Cups vibes, which is really nice to see because it's like, okay, finally you have a sense of calm, balance, okay, that's coming in for you is because of your emotional maturity, okay, towards certain situations. There might be relationships that are traversing towards you, towards your path that might be kind of like waking you up a bit is what I got. Yeah, and then Two of Wands kind of feels like you are now kind of like in this visionary perspective. You're kind of in like this almost I don't know why I got the word whimsical. You're kind of like thinking about all the things that you want to do in 2026, in the second quarter of the year. It feels like you are very much like in tune with like your desires, but now you're just like planning. You're putting plans in place and I'm getting more of that like friendship community vibe coming through. Because when I'm thinking about the King of Cups, I'm like, okay, you're having like a lot of emotional connection and wisdom and balance with your connections. I don't know why I keep saying connections, but there's a lot of connections are coming through. It's like the universe wants you to know, like, hey, connect, okay? Like definitely connect. Three of Cups, like you are having friendships. You might have love connections coming in, but you are very much in this like very supportive environment. Something to do with people are gathering, people are celebrating, they're drinking, they're having a good time, they're dancing and prancing. Something to do with like being able to eat a good meal with one another is what I got. Oh wow, we got lovers. Okay, interesting to see. Not necessarily like one of cups, like ace of cups or two of cups, but we got three of cups and the lovers. So it's like maybe there are some potential love connections coming in um if you're not necessarily in a deep relationship right now or like a love connection right now, you're looking for that. It looks to be that there are going to be some sort of unions or connections coming up. And it's really up to you to decide if that's what you want in 2026 mid year. Okay. Oh. And so it feels like there's gonna be some sort of like destined connection I'm hearing. It might be like a new, like, I don't know what it is. It feels very strong. Okay. It feels very much like it's gonna take a little bit of like you might need to like heal and recover from this because it's like maybe perhaps the connection feels very strong and it's like you need to retreat or you need to go back into your hermit mode or solitude again to kind of like like rehash out all the instances that happened to see if it was worth it. It's going to require your strength, okay, your compassion, maybe a little bit of restraint. It feels like I don't know what it is. It feels like you need strength to like ask this person out or like go into this new connection of some kind or make some sort of union happen or make some sort of connection happen. It's kind of like maybe it's even maybe it could be like a opportunity that like you really want and you want to be a part of it. You want to connect with that, but it's like you need to like I suppose like gather your I don't know, like gather your troops, gather your thoughts is what I'm hearing. So that might be of significance, okay? And then Ace of Wands, it kind of feels like you are having a spark as you like kind of go in again to the secondary solitude period, middle to end of year. Something to do with like it's going to reignite another passion, another spark in you, okay? Something to do with you feeling inspired again. You're going to be able to take a leap forward. You're going to be taking some sort of new path with that regenerized spark, regenerized I don't know why. And like it's like you're going to be feeling invigorated, is what I heard. Okay. I heard stability as well. Something to do with you juggling a lot of options too. So that might be of significance. I was getting like two of pentacles for some reason. King of Swords. It feels like You maintain like some sort of rationality throughout the year, and it has a lot to do with like that Tarot. I don't know why I got Hierophant. The Hermit vibe. Okay, this Hermit is just helping you reflect throughout the entire year. It's like you planned your entire year out. Like you knew what you were doing. Is what I'm hearing. Like you knew what your plans were in place, and so you kind of set forth. Okay. And towards like the end of the year, there's gonna be like maybe some sort of moment that kind of puts you in another exclusion, kind of isolated phase. So you might just go back into hermit mode again towards the end of the year, like you were the end of 2025, going into 2026. So you might be doing the same in 2026, going into 2025, is what I'm hearing. For some reason, you're definitely in like this like introspective phase, Pisces. Something to do with like you just wanting to kind of like tap into like your I don't know why I got like Akashic records. You're trying to just tap into like your mindset, tap into your third eye is what I'm hearing. Have like true vision, true sight. Okay. There's also like some sort of secret intentions happening in 2026. There might be some a little bit of like manipulation. People might have hidden motives, so just be mindful of that. Some shadow energies coming up here. But you've learned your lesson. I feel like this is like happening from 2025 going to 2026. Okay. Might be early in 2026. Okay. But you're gaining wisdom, you're learning the lessons, you're like just completing all of these cycles that are coming in, and you're having this big sense of growth through the experiences. You're wiser now. You're just having a sense of like confidence from that wisdom too as you traverse forward. And interestingly enough, it feels like people might fake their perfection. Okay, so that kind of puts you in this like was it like the King of Cups? Yeah, so it kind of puts you in that like you're thinking with your emotional maturity. Okay, you're thinking with your leadership capabilities, your wisdom in terms of like how people are perceiving or being perceived or showing up. Okay, like unrealistic standards towards certain things. You very well might also be like thinking about unrealistic standards towards certain things that you don't want to have like those particular mindset is what I'm hearing. It's like things might feel artificial, so you're just like thinking about it. Or maybe you do use Photoshop. Maybe you are photoshopping certain things so they seem perfect. Okay. So that might be on the flip side where it's like you might create unexpected, unrealistic expectations or standards for yourself, but the universe wants you to understand your self worth. But most of the time, I'm hearing that you might be just doing this while you're like doing your side hustle. Like you want things to be perfect, so you might just like do a little this and that to like make it seem like better than maybe it took you like 8 hours, but you're like maybe I'm getting like maybe you may be like burned out during like a night shift or like you're doing like 48 hours straight of working. Hopefully you don't do that, but like I'm feeling like you're like burning yourself out. So you might have to like, I don't know why, maybe you're using like a Google filter or something like that, or like something to like filter your appearance, even though like you are feeling completely horrible in a meeting. Like you might use the filters on a Zoom meeting or a Skype meeting or a Google meeting because you've been working all night, is kind of what I'm getting as well. Like, because you're always on the grind. That might be of significance as well. I'm not even sure why I was getting that messaging there, but that's interesting. But nonetheless, you're also going to be focusing on your safe spaces. You're also going to be thinking about your emotional sanctuary, your emotional security. I'm definitely getting a lot of emotional maturity. Like you're just in this like reflective phase constantly. Um, and it has a lot to do with like feeling breadcrumbed in the past, or maybe you're breadcrumbing certain situations, or you're kind of like you're kind of breaking things down is what I'm hearing with that breadcrumbing energy. You're giving certain things minimal attention and other things more attention, and you're kind of just like going back and forth on what's really important is what I'm hearing. But there's also might be some vague promises happening in the background. There might be some emotional reactions that pop up with that too, and like the shadow energies there. Something to do with unresolved wounds of the past. So that might be something that you're reflecting on throughout of like 2026, and you might just be like, these you might be facing past hurts, okay? Um, Thinking about why does it bother you? So that might be something that might be what you're reflecting on towards the end of the year from 2026 going into 2027. That's something to keep in mind as you traverse forward. So yeah, those are all the messages that I have for you today, Pisces. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I truly appreciate it. This is the end of the 2026 yearly reflection. So yeah, thank you so much and have a beautiful day. I'll see you next time. So this concludes the 2026 yearly reflection. If this reading resonated, consider showing your support by subscribing, liking the video, and leaving a comment down below. I truly appreciate it. And until next time, trust your path and let the universe work its magic.